Firefighters are optimistic this morning because they are starting to get some containment on the fires that are burning all along the Front Range. Two areas that are getting a lot of attention this weekend. That is going to be the Cory Fire in Jefferson County, burning near a densely populated area. Also a really tough fire to fight. The Alexander Mountain Fire in Larimer County, we unfortunately got some mixed news out of there, including more structures that were lost in the second half of the week. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Anusha Roy.
And I'm Mark Salinger. Investigators now believe the Cory Fire was started by someone potentially on purpose. They're bringing in an arson canine to help determine the cause of that fire.
We have team coverage of these fires. Weather Impact Team meteorologist Chris Spears is tracking the dry conditions across the state.
We want to start right now with Brianna Clark, who joins us in Jefferson County with the latest on the Cory Fire. Good morning, Brianna.
Yeah, good morning, guys. We're hearing as of this morning, 10% contained, 480 acres burned. 50 acres were added to that total just yesterday, but they're saying it's good news. The fire is burning away from homes, but they are keeping an eye on the homes and making sure that that wind doesn't shift the fire into any direction. Take a look at this video. You may have seen some plumes of smoke if you're in the area, something similar to this. Fire crews say this is normal. This is an area that is already burned, and some of those spots actually have little islands of fuel that haven't burned, so those little spots are now burning again. So they want folks to know not to be worried about that. Just keep your eye on it, and crews are also keeping their eye on it as well. We've had more than 500 homes evacuated because of this fire. Not everyone chose to leave, though. We spoke to a man who left, then went back home to grab his cat, and then decided to just stay there.
I had my alarm in my phone set every 30 minutes. And so if I nodded, I woke up, walked outside, looked at the fire. Every 30 minutes I was watching because I wanted to make sure.
Spoke to Jamal Haddad again this morning. He said he didn't sleep very well last night, was keeping an eye as those winds were coming in, but as of now, he can't smell any smoke and he can't see any flames. Now, a reminder, the sheriff's office wants you to know that when they have these evacuation orders in place, that you should and need to follow them. Jamal chose not to, and he knew the risks that came with that, and the sheriff's department also informed him of that. So just keep that in mind. All right, so folks who did evacuate, the more than 500 homes that had to evacuate, some of those folks are staying here at Dakota Ridge High School. Now, if you're not here, you still should probably come here either today or tomorrow between 10 and 3. They're getting those re-entry verifications together now so that when it is time to go back to your homes that you guys are ready. So make sure you stop by here. We have all the details online. Reporting live in Jefferson County, Brianna Clark, 9 News.
And we should add that we're also expecting to hear from the sheriff's office sometime in the next hour or so. And Brianna, I know that you will bring us all those latest updates. We appreciate you being out there this morning with all that new information. Now, moving up to northern Colorado, the Alexander Mountain Fire has now destroyed about 45 buildings, including homes. As of this morning, the fire has burned nearly 9,400 acres. Its containment sitting at just 5% right now. Yesterday, some families learned they could return home after firefighters lifted some of those mandatory evacuation orders.
So thankful. You feel sorry for the people that have nothing to come home to.
Officials in Larimer County say all of the lost and damaged structures are in the same area. In Cedar Park, north of the town of Drake, the Larimer County Sheriff's Office is still trying to get in touch with property owners that live on some of these roads. You can see them there on your screen. If you live or own property in that area and have not been contacted yet, you're asked to call the Sheriff's Office.
Some of the evacuations have also been lifted near the Stone Canyon Fire burning in Boulder County. This is north of Lyons. We've been watching some of those orders being lifted over the last couple of days. So far, it has burned more than 1,500 acres. That is about 2.5 square miles. The fire is 53% contained this morning. It was so big they had to divide it into 2 zones. The fire destroyed 5 homes and did kill 1 person. Their remains were found inside one of those homes. 2 firefighters were also hurt.
Also in Boulder County, the Lakeshore Fire is now 100% contained. Some good news there. Unfortunately, the fire did destroy 1 home. Fire officials say the fire was human-caused, but are considering it accidental at this point. No other information has been released this morning. For more on all of these wildfires burning across the Front Range, text the word wildfire to 303 871-1491. The number's there on your screen as well. We will send you a link to all the latest information coming into our newsroom directly to your phone.
Right now, fire crews on the western slope are trying to control a fire just north of Nucla. That's about an hour from the Utah border. The Bucktail Fire started just before noon on Thursday. It has now grown to nearly 3,000 acres. Fire crews say that they do not have any containment yet. People who live nearby say that they are on high alert. They are ready to evacuate on a moment's notice.
It's a humbling experience when you start thinking about the possibility of losing your home or the things you've worked your entire life for. So I think just a big shout out to those hometown heroes. Those guys truly are saving homes and saving lives.
Officials say people out west will most likely see smoke for the next several days. Their priority right now is keeping firefighters safe. We want to head over to 9 News Weather Impact Team meteorologist Chris Spears right now. And Chris, we still have a couple of days of that really hot weather that we got to deal with, but then there is a cool down finally coming our way.
There is a significant cool down, maybe even a game changer in terms of the fire danger. Fingers crossed, but we do have a few difficult days to get through before that's going to happen. We are in the 60s right now with a lot of haze out there. The air quality is definitely suffering. I am afraid the current wind gusts on the calm side, some places 5 to 10 miles per hour, but it's really quiet out there this morning in terms of winds here along the front range. And really, we should keep a lighter wind scenario through the day. So that is a piece of good news with this forecast. A lot of smoke in the atmosphere. And as we get into the afternoon, of course, that's when fire activity usually flares up. So we will definitely continue with these off and on smoke issues through the day. That futurecast was rolling. There was just really nothing to show you on it. We may have a few passing clouds today, but you may not even see those clouds because of the thicker haze at times. The main story is hot and dry, and air quality alert 97 for the high today. It will be even hotter tomorrow as we have a good chance to break a record in Denver with a high right around the 100-degree mark. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, temps are going to slowly start to come down. And Thursday, that is where all eyes are in the current extended forecast. Mark and Anusha, we're going to look at that in our main weather coming up.
All right, thanks so much for that, Chris. Developing right now, folks should be able to get back into a parking lot in downtown Denver to get their cars back after an officer-involved shooting overnight. Denver police were already in the area of 19th and Market as the bars were letting out when an officer was flagged about a person with a gun in that parking lot. That is when officers approached the man, and Chief Ron Thomas said an officer opened fire. One person was transported to the hospital with what they're describing as non-life-threatening injuries. They also said he was in serious condition. No officers were injured in that shooting.
The officer responded to that location and approached a vehicle that matched the description of the one described. He saw a party standing next to that vehicle. He challenged that individual, asked to see his hands, and at that point the individual produced a firearm in a threatening manner. The officer did fire one shot, striking the individual. He was then taken safely into custody, ultimately transported to Denver Health Medical Center, where he's currently in serious condition.
Officers also said that there was another shooting about a block away. They are working to figure out if those are related.
A former professor at Regis University now officially faces charges in the murder of his wife. According to court records, Nicholas Mickelbus claims he found his wife unconscious and their infant daughter not breathing on Monday. Yesterday, the Denver medical examiner said Mickelbus' wife died of blunt force injuries. Police wrote that Mickelbus had injuries consistent with a physical fight. The baby's death is still under investigation. Regis University announced that Mickelbus is no longer working at the school.
The man accused in a deadly dorm room shooting at UCCS will now stand trial after a judge ruled that he is competent. The decision came down during Nicholas Jordan's competency hearing yesterday morning. He is accused of shooting and killing his roommate and the roommate's friend back in February. In April, Jordan was deemed incompetent to stand trial by a state psychologist. Prosecutors then asked for a second competency hearing. Jordan is set for a preliminary hearing coming up on September 5th.
Well, if you see a lot of ambulances rolling up and down West 38th Avenue in Wheat Ridge today, don't worry. One of Denver's biggest hospitals will be wrapping up their move to a new home, and they're transporting a whole lot of patients to the new hospital. Intermountain Health Lutheran Medical Center in Wheat Ridge is moving roughly 3 miles away from their old location. Their new hospital is located off I-70 and 40th Avenue. Caregivers plan to move around 180 patients from the old hospital to the new one. The hospital is partnering with a whole lot of ambulance companies to help move those patients. They have about 20 ambulances to transfer patients every 10 minutes or so. They're making loops. Trucks will also move over things that they had to keep at the old hospital and couldn't move over until the last second, like MRI machines and beds and all that equipment. It is expected to take about 8 hours today.